Good morning, everybody, and welcome. This is Beard Productions, and we are, as you can see in the background, at the 2019 Forest of Dean Open. And we're here to watch the closing stages of this event. This started last weekend, and they played their way down to the last 16 players. And the action is underway, and we're here to watch this round of 16 game between, at the table, Shane Thompson, and his opponent in this game is Zach Shepherd. Fair to say, two of the favourites for the event now. Shane probably, he wasn't quoted with the bookmaker, but probably fair to say he's the outright favourite, and Zach will be up there in amongst them as well. So we're in for a packed day of action, and we're at the Drybrook Sports Bar in just south of Gloucester. And our first look at Zach Shepherd, local to the area. We're playing world rules. Nice little developing shot from Zach. Zach, of course, one of the Welsh internationals. This is, in fact, a battle of international players. Well, Zach plays for the Welsh men's team, and of course Shane Thompson plays for the England team. They'll have played each other in competition a number of times before. There's 4 tables in action. The table that you see just behind that's Scott Pope at the table setting up the balls, and he's playing against Andy Williams. Andy Williams currently 1-0 up in that one. We'll just keep you updated with that score as well. It's all the scores are on qscore.com. Just need to look for the Forest of Dean Open. So that's us updated with who we are and where we are. Now we can settle into this game. Under hit there from Zach, who was looking to get another 9 inches across the table. You can see from his facial expression. If he could see the angle, the potting angle, the one to the left, he just can. So maybe looking at screwing across. Yeah, just nudging into those reds. Didn't need to hit them hard. Black's a little bit of an issue. Doesn't go to bottom left, so should still be okay. I think he can take the one nearest the left cushion, just stun across, leaving himself an angle. Ideally, he wants to leave the cue ball somewhere around about the black spot after this shot to give himself the black in the middle. This looks just about perfect. You can just screw out into the gap between the 2 yellows. And as I say, just somewhere south of the black spot. Just about there. That's perfect. Still a little bit of a tricky cut back into centre. Just needs to be careful. And he is. He plays it well. Plays it at a great pace. Pocket's always going to take it at that pace. And that's the first one on the board. And that is a reverse dish. Again, the game of chess continues. But I wonder, he's not hit that hard enough, has he? He's left this yellow. If he hasn't left the pot, Shane can definitely get to the knuckle and just take that bag. He's just looking now at whether even he's got the plant long. I think he has, you know. That was a bit of a disaster there from Zach. He's left in both of these pots. Goodness me. Well, I don't think that should make any difference. He didn't want both to drop. But it shouldn't matter. So that one shot from Zach, just a tiny bit loose and left both balls in the open for Shane. This one just needs good cueing. Just slightly got the wrong angle to be able to screw straight back. So it's not quite dead straight. So I think he's going to have to run around off two cushions, maybe on a screw off the side cushion. But whichever way he does it, it needs good cueing. There you go, run around off two cushions indeed. And he really did cue that very nicely in. Again, just needs to be careful. The natural path is going to flick the black. So he just has to consider the pace. Very nice. Well manufactured clearances from Shane Thompson. And he's going to level things up at one frame each. I would suggest that Shane will be looking to get that black right in amongst the reds. Zach had to try and clear those three yellows. Had he taken his three yellows at that last visit, he wouldn't have given Shane any options to play that DF, because it would have been a foul snooker. But that's all Shane could really do. He's just really thrown down the gauntlet to Zach and said, okay, you need to clear. And if he can make both these yellows, then he carries his two shots to the black. Yeah, well, he's done the first bit of the job. It's just what he does with that black. I think the red might be buried just slightly too far in the pocket. I was wondering if he could maybe manufacture something to get the red out and leave the black over the pocket, but I think he's going to have to try and punch it out, which is what he's looking at now. He's just looking at the angle he wants to leave. There's a lot of traffic around that black. There's no guarantees that that's going to come out. Now then. If you can go side cushion, bottom cushion and get it. Yeah. And he's looking now at bottom cushion and flicking into the bottom of that red. He should be guaranteed a shot, but he's trusting in luck here. Needs to watch where the white's going. Well, he's as I say, Just trusting the luck a little bit. But ultimately, as I say, he was favourite in that frame for some time, and he holds his hand up by way of apology. I'm not quite sure why. He's going to go for the double first. Well, I was going to say, the double seemed as if it was the wrong angle. He was really going to have to punch that to try and make it. So, again, he's tried to play a little containing shot there, but he's given Zach half a chance. There's a chance that he shouldn't have really had. And he was just looking a second ago at whether the two on the side could be manufactured into a plant into the top corner. Looking at them, I think they're just set. They look like they're set towards the kind of knuckle of the middle bag, but it's whether he can make it. I think there's just enough room between those two balls to be able to make the plant, and of course it is a big pocket at the top corner as well, so we shall see. I think he thinks he can make it. He's having another look now. That's going to be the key to the frame. He can play it. After this next shot, he'll play this one into middle and just come around off the. He's just going to play the one to bottom corner and just drag across. Either one would have been fine. No. There we are. He answers our question. Didn't feel that he could make the plant. Well, kind of felt he had a natural angle as well, just to try and break it open. So, guess he didn't feel he needed to. Now this next shot is the key to the frame. He needs to cue this really well. Has to screw back to get above the yellow. Probably needs to screw back about 4 or 5 inches, which means he needs to play the shot firm, which makes it more missable. Wow, there we still just those new slidey cushions helping that one. Now it should really be plain sailing. You can drop this in the middle, just drift forward a couple of inches, and doesn't really need to do too much with this. Again, just play it firm. You can virtually hold the cue ball where the red is, and just stun it in, and just play the black half ball. Something just distracted him. Big frame, this one. Already. Cued that really well. And this one now for a 3 frames to 1 lead for Zach Shepherd, and he makes it. He's been a tiny bit fortunate in where he's pushed the black, because he's left this tough. It's easy enough to get on, obviously. It's just run it off the bottom rail. I think he would have wanted to be closer to that. You can see him raise his palm. I mean, he would have wanted to be 2 foot closer. Now this really is tough cueing. If he was playing this from just below the middle bag, then you really would fancy him to get it. But over this distance, the white ball, I think it just caught the knuckle and just killed it slightly. But as I say, this one really tough cueing. No, it's just, wow, look at that. It just seemed to pull away slightly. And that is not what he was looking for. He left himself a plant, but this is much more difficult than it should have been. Needs to be careful where the first red goes. Yeah, he played that at a really good pace. Played that really well, actually. That second red could have gone wrong. Yeah, nice clearances from Shane. Again, showing his quality. It was a very makeable clearance, but you still got to execute them, and execute it he does, and it's 4-2 now. 2 frames behind. Across on the other table, it's still 4 frames to 3 to Andy Williams. We're in the middle of a fairly long frame at the moment. I think it was a bit of a tactical affair, but Andy Williams is a big favourite to win that frame. Well then, Shane with another great chance that he probably shouldn't have had. Just wonder what his plan is for the black. Whether he's going to try and move it. Whether he feels, I mean, he can obviously get behind it and drop it in the middle. Could even play it off the red if he wished to. But you can see it's a pretty cute little angle. I think he probably will be playing it off the red. He's just looking now at where he wants to be. He may just try and get him behind it. It really depends. The angle looks pretty cute from here, but yeah, and even looking at the table, it's a tough little shot. Yeah, so he's just decided to take the double. I gotta say, I can't blame him. Oh no. Oh, he had 2 shots. Excuse me. going to say for a second that's one of the worst shots I've ever seen him play. He's under-hit it by about 2 foot. But of course he had another shot. Pardon my... that's good from Shane. No. Oh, wow, what an effort that was. Foul. Foul and 2 visits to Zach. Now a little elementary clearance from Zach to resume a 2-frame lead. Which he will do. And it's back at the 5-3. It's not come far enough by some margin. He could play it here. Come back across table. Just a nudge into the black. He didn't want to forfeit the chance of making the pot. He's just looking now at whether it drops in. He does actually have a lovely angle that he can just nudge it if he needs to. But if he feels it drops in, then he'll just drop behind it. Nudge it. He did. And a delightful little nudge it was. And he can just cut this back in. Very nice. Good clearance. Reduces the deficit to 1. And it's 5 frames to 4 to the Welshman. I think all he can do here is pot this and just come down and rest on the red. There you go. He's tried to develop, knowing that the angle was all wrong. And he's given himself a fighting chance. But again, he's got to get this cue ball running. Needs to be at least on the black spot, if not slightly lower. Looks perfect. In fact, I doubt he could have placed that much better with his hand. It was still a tough double. And that will cost him the frame. He'll just screw across the face of the black, straight up through the middle of the table. For these last 2 simple balls to draw back level. Well, that's flown. He's absolutely fine, but goodness, just for a split second. So 5 apiece. This one could have been straighter though. Another 4 or 5 inches up table, and he could have just dropped this in. Now he's having a look to see whether this black goes past the red into the bottom corner pocket. I'm not convinced that it does, you know, which makes this shot a lot more difficult. If he decides that black won't go, if it goes to the bottom right, he can just screw across towards the left middle. But if it doesn't, then he's going to have to come up with something. That clearly doesn't. Well, it was a great effort. It needed to be probably another 10 or 12 inches down the table to make this comfortable. But he's given himself a chance. Half ball cut to middle. Not particularly nice. And where's the cue ball going? Natural path is taking it towards that red. Needs to be really careful here. He can't do much with the cue ball because he's on the rail, so may elect to take the double. Very tough. And a key frame. Oh, great double. Very, very nice. Played that well. And for the first time in the match, he goes ahead 6 frames to 5. And in these big, edgy frames, this one isn't a gimme. I think he can just, no, he doesn't like it. I was going to say, he's going to try and nick that into the middle. That's really skinny. Bottom corner would have been my choice. And Shane's showing his class. He nails it and takes a 2-frame lead. Kind of surprised. I think a confident Zach Shepherd would have taken on that pot because all the balls are there. And now he's starting to think negatively. And I wouldn't put it past Shane to punish him here. He's got that one tough ball on the back line, but I would not put it past him. Neither player have clicked into top gear. It was a great effort trying to promote that yellow down table. May have got it down just far enough where I think he can probably take the one furthermost left of the table and try and land somewhere on the back line to take that yellow into the centre. So he's probably just done enough. Needs this to run. Pretty sure he wanted to be another few inches across table. He's just looking now at where he wants to be. May be able to manufacture it still. He might decide just to punch in and stand back to where his Q-tip is now, just to leave an angle on the one in the centre. But you really don't want to be leaving that one nearest the bulk line till last. I wonder if we can manufacture off, just top it through off side cushion and top cushion to get across. I think that's what he's looking at. Now he's looking at playing the yellow off the red. Yeah. It's a shot, I said, just topping it through off of 2 rails to leave himself above this yellow. Tricky little shot, but you fancy him to make this. He's queuing well now, and it's there you can see he's taking some of those finger marks out because he knows this is a delicate little shot. Cue ball's going to come through naturally. Yeah, he played that well. Nice clearances from Shane, and it's a little bit one-way traffic now. 8 frames to 5. I think Shane was. I think this landed okay actually. I think he can take the one nearest to him to middle, and he's got a natural angle to come across and nudge the black out. If he can hold on the black full ball, then he's going to have the red in the opposite middle. That's a great shot. That's a great shot. Simple enough, but again, it's one of those you have to execute it. It's one that could go wrong if you hit it slightly too thin. Played it really, really well. And makes a fairly tricky clearance look really simple just by super cue ball control. And this one to put Shane Thompson on the hill. And on the hill he goes. It's 9 frames to 5. I quite like, if you can find the angle, I quite like the doubling the yellow back towards his right hand corner bag. Because if you can get some covering fire in here, you'll have a real advantage in this frame. He's not looking at that though, he's just looking at pushing this red. Yeah, clever shot there. Clever shot. Played it well. Certainly gives Shane something to think about. Just looking now to see whether one of those reds goes above the yellow. I think there is room there to go cushion first and smash it all out. Yeah, you can see there. Whether a ball will pop past that, I think it will. I think you can force. We'll see. We'll see after this shot. I think that's what he's looking at. That's really good cue ball control. He's found the place. It's just about whether he thinks he can fire this through the gap, and he can. And that's a great shot. That opens the frame up, and that should be the match on that shot. Really good view of this from the overhead. Look at that. Just glances the yellow on the way through. Forces the gap. Very well played from Shane. But, Certainly wasn't a masterclass early doors from either player. It's been strewn with mistakes, but Shane has played very well. A little shake of his head, that one, just used all of the pocket. Wiped his feet on the way through. Just making sure he left himself an angle, but now I think the angle's too big. So maybe there's a bit of play left in this one. Zach in the background doesn't think so. He's sliding his break cue back into the case. And the other cue goes alongside. So he thinks this one's all over by the shouting. I'm not so sure. Shane's going to have to pull one out of the bag here to hold this. I think he's got to screw back off the side cushion and kill the cue ball. Yeah, it's about as good as he could have done, I think. Would probably have liked a full ball contact on the yellow just to hold this. This is a cute angle. But you've got to fancy him for this. Played well. Very nice. Well controlled. This is good stuff from Shane. Second half of the match, he's really shown his class, and he proceeds through into the round of 8. So here we are with the winner, Shane Thompson. Shane, fair to say that probably wasn't a classic performance by either of you.
It wasn't great, was it? It was a bit scrappy, but I'm happy to win. So
yeah,
that's the main thing.
Bit of a game of two halves. I mean, you seem to be struggling early doors, and Zach seemed to be queuing well, and then it all kind of hinged on a couple of momentum swings in the middle.
I was really struggling with the table. I thought it was a bit sliding on the cushions and a bit slower than what I'm used to. So yeah, it took a bit of getting used to, but managed to get there in the end. Yeah, absolutely. So performance overall over the 2 weekends, you happy? Not yet. No, not yet. It's been a long one, but hopefully it'll be a long day. Yeah. Hopefully I'll get the win in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All right, brilliant. Well, just a quick interview with Shane. The next game up is, as we said, Jamie Murray against Macaulay Gunn. We'll be back with the action in just a few minutes. See you soon.